Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Now today we are going to be doing another reading vlog, and this one's going to be a little bit of a fun one, and it's going to be related to Pride, but we are going to be reading only LGBTQ plus books this week. I am so excited. I'm starting this challenge on a Sunday, so I have 3 books that I kind of want to get through the week. I don't know how many I'm going to get through this week, to be honest with you, because I don't know how fast I'm going to read or how much I will be able to read in a certain time, because I have to work 4 times this week as well, so I'm definitely going to be using my audiobooks and such. But I have 3 books in mind that I want to read. 2 of them are on my Kindle. Let me grab that one. 2 of them are on my Kindle. One is Meeting Millie, which is on my June TBR if you guys haven't watched that video and such. But it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm like, you know what? Might as well read it on Kindle Unlimited, because I've never read Claire Ashton, I think, is the author of that one, but I've never read any of her books, honestly, so I'm intrigued to try, but we're going to read it on my Kindle. And then the other one that I have on my Kindle is Imogen, obviously. That is a book club book of mine. It has been on my Kindle for such a long time that I have not been able to get to it, but now I have an excuse to get to it, which I am super, super excited for, honestly. I don't really remember what that is about too much, to be honest with you, but I will remind myself in the upcoming future, honestly. And then the last book that I have is the only one that I have in the physical form, which is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I have wanted to read more of Alice Oseman's stuff for a really, really long time. One, because of I don't think you guys can see it, but we have the Heartstopper series right here and such. And that is one of my favorite series of all time. So those are the 3 books that I'm thinking about, that I am going to be reading this week. I'm just going to try and figure out which one I want to read, and then I will take you guys along with me. So I don't know if I'm going to read them in the order that I said, or if I'm going to figure out from there, but I'm going to refresh myself a little bit off camera and then turn on the camera when I decide to pick up a book, essentially, and figure out which book I'm going to read. But yeah, those are the books that I'm going to read this week, and I will see you guys in just a little bit. Hello again, friends. I am coming to update you guys on basically what I have been doing. And as you guys have been seeing and such like that, it is currently 6:40, almost 6:50 actually on Monday night. And as you guys saw in the last clips, I had read Meeting Millie, or started Meeting Millie, to say the least. I cannot say that title properly, but that is a-okay, honestly. But I thought I'd come in and update you guys, basically. So like I said, I started Meeting Millie yesterday, read the majority of that yesterday as well too. Got to 100 pages, which is really, really nice. I usually don't read that much within a setting or within a day even as well. So I'm very happy I was able to get to that as well too. But of course, with this book, I am currently about 34% of the way through, so I'm not that far. I was originally going to do this check-in a little bit closer to the halfway mark, but then I decided not to do that, just spur of the moment, honestly, because I kind of wanted to update you guys and talk to you a little bit about this book, because I realized I never really properly explained what this book was about. But it's basically about these 2 old best friends named Millie and Charlotte. They went to Oxford University together. They met there, of course. They were, of course, in uni, and that's the UK's version of college in the United States and like possibly anywhere else. I don't know all of the lingo, but they basically meet in university, and Millie is straight while Charlotte is a lesbian and she's just trying to figure out her sexuality. And in turn, something kind of goes like awry within their friendship, and they hadn't seen each other in 10 years. And then Charlotte, she comes back to Oxford because she is at a new law practice that she really, really likes. And what do you know it, she bumps into Millie at an old, like, I don't remember what exactly it was called where they opened. I think it was at a dinner that they ran into, like with the actual Oxford University itself and like alums and all of that stuff as well too. And it was kind of a little bit of an interesting meeting and such like that, because they kind of fell into a little bit of old ways with also old wounds that had not been completely tended to as well. And overall, it's just an interesting kind of, I'm thinking it's going to be along the lines of second chance romance, honestly, even though we don't know what like the actual like full conflict is. I haven't gotten to the full conflict yet on why they stopped being friends in the first place. So I'm only speculating, but I think I have an idea of like where their friendship might have went wrong, to be honest with you. And 10 years go by and they reconnect and turn rekindling their friendship. And I'm guessing that they're probably going to be opening up their skeletons in the closet as well too. So I'm really excited for that, honestly. But I'm on chapter 17, like I said, about 34% of the way through, and I'm going to keep reading a little bit tonight. I'll probably take you guys along with me as well too. And also, don't mind the shirt. I just got done with work and I just didn't feel like changing, to be honest with you. I just had it on. I'm like, you know what? Why not just keep it on for a little bit, honestly? But you guys will probably see me in something else as well too. But I just thought I'd do a little bit of an update. Really liking the story so far. I think their chemistry is really interesting, to say the least. And we also get both of their point of views. We also get their past point of views as well too, for who they were back in university and who they are now that like 10 plus years has gone by, essentially. And I'm really liking it. I am truly liking it, honestly. But I will probably update you guys when I'm either about 60 to 70% of the way through or something like that, honestly. But maybe the next time I will update you guys is when I've officially finished as well too, and then we can move on to the other books that I have planned out for the week as well too. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Hello again, friends. You would probably think that I'm coming to you with an update, but I'm not. No, I am coming for something completely different, though I am going to update you guys on how far I am in the book. But first, I thought that I would do a little mini book haul. I don't know if you can see the bags from here and such like that, but I got a couple of packages. I know what these two are and such because I ordered them like just after I had started filming this video, because I feel like I'm going to like these books, essentially. So the first one that I got was, why is the camera not focusing? What the fuck? Hello? Why are you not focusing on me? Okay, that was weird. Did not like that whatsoever. But this first book that I got was Imogen, obviously. Obviously, I'm going to be reading this near the end of the week and like during the week as well too. But I'm super excited to get into this one. And then the next one that I have as well too. And hopefully what is going on? What? Okay. That was weird. Just extremely weird. Hold on. Trying to... yes, here it is. Okay. So then I got Meeting Millie. Obviously, I'm reading this currently and such, but I'm like, you know what? I'm really kind of enjoying this book. So I'm like, you know what? why not get it? Plus the cover is gorgeous. The cover is beautiful, essentially, and such. But that is my Amazon stuff. Then earlier today, my mom and I, we went out to Walmart. We were doing like some grocery items and like doing like some errands. And I didn't have my camera with me, so I did not like record me getting any of these books, honestly, but that is a-okay, honestly, in my opinion. So 2 of these books are technically in a series, but I'm going to start out with one that I've pretty much been seeing everybody reading, and that is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. And this one is the Walmart exclusive content and such. I didn't know that there were different. Did not know that there were different ones as well too for this one. Focus. My God, my camera and I are having beef today. I don't like that very much. But essentially, I've seen... Okay, I think it's just when I look away from the camera that it does not want to focus on me. I don't know what the hell is going on, but basically what this book is about, it's basically about this girl named Alice, and she spends just a summer at a cottage with her nan where she was 17, and she took a photo of these 3 grinning teenagers in a yellow speedboat, and that image changed her life, essentially. So she's a photographer and such, and then she starts to have a romance with the dude in one of the dudes in the photograph specifically and such. And I've heard that so many people are like, why don't you read? People are like saying like, oh, this is really good, and maybe people could also read it if like you've read like Every Summer After. I've never read Every Summer After yet, so I don't know if I'll like that one, but I definitely want to read that one probably before I pick this one up, honestly. But it definitely seems like a really good like summer read. I could not think for a second. But also look at that cover. That cover is stunning. Honestly, in my opinion. And then these next 2 books I got are technically a part of a series, and one that I've been waiting to get my hands on for a long time because I didn't want to get it at Barnes and Noble. But it is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I have the first 2 books on my shelf currently, and I already got the powerful novella, but then I saw this guy. I know it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical to have 2 books and to have 2 of the same, like 2 copies of the same book and such, but it's just so gorgeous. Like how could you not? It's so gorgeous. Like how could you not? Like how could you not? But anyways, I got these 2. The reason why I was waiting to buy this one specifically is because if you guys have looked at the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, that one's ugly. I'm going to say it. It's ugly. And I have no shame in saying that out loud. No flip-flopping shame. Did not like that cover, honestly. And I haven't even started Powerless yet, so we shall see if I even like this series. Thankfully, it's like a trilogy, so, I don't have to commit too long at least, which is really, really nice, to be honest with you, which I'm really, really enjoying with that. But basically, let me get all of these books together, essentially. But basically, these books are basically all that I got, essentially, from my book haul. So now I'm going to dive into a little bit more about where I'm at in meeting Millie, specifically this girl right here. So I got to chapter 28. I have a little bit, like, if you look right there and such like that, hopefully that focuses on the screen, honestly, but that's about how far I am into the book. According to my Kindle, it says I'm about, like, 55% of the way through, honestly, and so far, I'm really, really, really liking this story. I'm liking this story extremely well, to be honest with you. It is something that I did not expect that I was going to love. So if I find where I'm at on chapter 28, give me a second. I can also probably follow along in the book as well too. I just figured that I would probably like it as well too. Ah, yes. Okay, that's where I'm at. Perfect. Okay, yeah, but I'm about this far into the book. I have about this much left of the book. Why is this not focusing? There we go. But I'll put a bookmark in that later. And so far, I'm really liking the romance on. Well, there's not really romance going on yet, but their chemistry is there. Like Charlotte and Millie, they were best friends in university, and I'm really kind of starting to get their connection. And the reason why they kind of stopped being friends, honestly, kind of valid, to be honest with you. There was a little bit of miscommunication going on between the two of them, and the reason why they stopped being friends made absolute sense. To me. I can't say anything because it would be a spoiler and such, though pretty sure people with a brain could probably figure out why they fell out in the first place. I knew exactly how they fell out and such, just because I could just see it coming from a mile away. But I am going to probably keep on reading tonight. And yeah, I'm enjoying this, honestly. I don't know what I'm going to rate it, but probably when I come back to y'all's, it'll probably be to say that I finished the book, honestly, and then I can give you my final thoughts from there. But I will see you guys in just a little bit. I finished Meeting Millie, friends, and yeah, this was a really, really good book, honestly. And Hi, friends. I'm coming to you on Wednesday. I probably should have started out with that, but it's fine, honestly. You guys are going to see this and know exactly what I'm talking about, honestly. But I finished Meeting Millie by Claire Ashton, and I really surprisingly liked this book, honestly. I think I've settled on a 4-star for sure. I know for sure that I'm thinking a 4-star because I really, really kind of enjoyed their story, honestly. So obviously, Meeting Millie is about these two best friends, Charlotte and Millie. Charlotte is a lesbian and Millie is straight. They met in university, which is the equivalent of college here in the United States. They are over in the UK, essentially, and such. And they meet, they become really, really fast friends. And Charlotte finds herself kind of a little bit in love with Millie, and then something happens between the two of them that make them decide that yeah, no, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And then 10 or so years later pass, and then they find themselves at Oxford again, the place where they met for the first time, and they rekindle a friendship. And then there's a little bit of romance there. But it's essentially a romance book, honestly. This is Meeting Millie, obviously called underneath. It says an Oxford romance and such. And solid 4 stars. I really, really liked seeing their friendship kind of from when they first started to how they are now as fully fledged adults with full out careers and stuff. And specifically with the romance itself, I liked it because one, it was very much slow burn. This romance, if you do not like slow burn, then you are not going to like this book. I don't mind slow burn, and the way that it was happening in this story, I didn't mind it, honestly, because it was really, really good in my opinion, to be honest with you. So yeah, I genuinely enjoyed the story. I like seeing Charlotte's character. I like seeing Millie's character. The book is told from both of their point of views. So you get both Millie and Charlotte's thoughts as well too on their friendship and what exactly happened to their friendship that made it go so awry. And there's so many conversations that I want to talk about that could be potential spoilers. And I'm going to put a time code here up on the screen to where you guys can kind of skip ahead to if you do not want to hear any spoilers. But essentially, one of the things I really, really liked talking about this is the versatility in figuring out your sexuality. Obviously, it's going to be a woman-on-woman romance with Charlotte and Millie. They've been best friends for years. Millie is the blonde, while Charlotte is the brunette. But Millie, she's the one that is straight. And she kind of pretty much slept her way through college with men. Mostly, she kind of found women attractive, but it wasn't until she met Charlotte that she realized that she was fully attracted to women. And there was lots of talk about sexuality and how you figure out what sexuality you are from when you're really young, or if you're like older and such, you know, and you can't have those like teenage queer moments and such like that, you know. And I really liked the way they talked about it, because especially when we got to hear it from Millie's point of view, she really kind of tells us a little bit about her struggles and kind of figuring out like the reason why she finds Charlotte attractive in the first place. And one of the things I really, really liked about this story is that both of them fell in love with their personalities rather than just their bodies. As they got older, they noticed their bodies, like they were attracted to each other, obviously, but with their first initial attraction, it was more of their personalities and how they bond with each other than anything else, honestly. But yeah, that's all the spoilers that I'm going to say, honestly. Obviously, if you've gotten to this point of the video, you know that like you either watch the spoilers or you did not want to watch the spoilers based on what I was telling you about this. But yeah, solid 4 stars. I'm definitely going to be continuing on reading this series, because this series is called Oxford Romance, I'm pretty sure, honestly. And I didn't find anybody really talking about this book, honestly. I just kind of found it randomly on Goodreads one day and I'm like, oh, that looks good. I'm going to read it one day. And that day is today. But yeah, solid 4 stars. Do highly recommend, honestly. The only thing that was really kind of an itch and something that I didn't really like was miscommunication, because of them being full-grown adults, essentially. And I have a little bit of a pet peeve with that. But I kind of put it aside for these two, because these two are so cute together. And the next book in this series, I'm pretty sure it's called Tempting Olivia. And Olivia is a character that we get prominent within this story. So I'm really excited to see her love story and just kind of follow along with the rest of the series as well. But go pick this up, honestly. Now I have 2 more books left on my list, which is obviously Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, and then Imogen, obviously. I have pretty much the majority of the month to read this book, honestly. And this one almost kind of seems like it's like falling into like a similar vein of Meeting Millie. Millie is kind of like the quote unquote straight friend, essentially. And it seems like Imogen is also the like straight friend and such like that. And she's very much with the Pride Alliance. And then she starts talking to this girl named Tessa and such. And she starts to wonder if like she was straight to begin with, honestly. I'm pretty sure this is also college romance as well too, but I'm really, really interested to see this. And I also realized that Becky Albertalli is also the same author who wrote Simon and the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which was turned into, I think it was the movie Love, Simon, I think. I will neither confirm nor deny that, honestly, in the editing process later. But that one sounds really cool. But also I have Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, which is not quite a romance. I don't think it is a romance, to be honest with you. I think it's just 2 queer people who happen to, well, actually, one of them is the host of this radio show. I think it's, about this radio show called Universe City. And then on the air, he goes by Radio Silence. And then this girl named Frances, she basically is making fan art for Universe City and also studying at university as well, too. They become fast friends. And then the more of themselves that they show on their podcast, I'm pretty sure she adds into Radio Silence, but I'm not too sure, honestly. And like then their secret identities are going to be revealed, and Frances needs to find the courage to show the world who she really is, or if she will be met with Radio Silence. And as I'm looking through these, I think I'm going to pick up Radio Silence. I think I'm going to read that a little bit later tonight, like before I go to sleep, honestly, and a little bit before I edit as well too. But I'm also going to update my Goodreads with Meeting Millie as well too. So yeah, I will probably cut to when I am opening up and picking up Radio Silence for the first time, honestly. I'm super, super excited for this. I will see you guys in just a second. I finished it. I finished Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, and 5 stars. Immediate 5 stars. Okay, I want to take you a little bit through like basically what happened. So obviously yesterday you guys saw me read the majority of that book essentially, and I read from like 150 to like 260 or whatever pages. And then yesterday I just kept reading and reading and reading, and I finished the book last night. But I didn't want to come on specifically to like talk about my feelings yet, because I had feelings. They were scattered pretty much all over the place, and I knew that I was going to love this book, but I just needed to kind of like just be a little bit more present, honestly, when I was thinking about this. But basically, a little overview about Radio Silence. It's basically about these 2 friends, these 2 people who become friends. Frances, who is a really big fan of this podcast called Universe City, and she's done fan art. She's the typical academic nerd where her like friends and family don't really like take her too seriously and such, you know? I mean, they do take her seriously, but like she's only really shown the side of her that really cares about school, and she kind of has this hidden personality about herself. And then when the creator of Universe City sees her fan art and is like, hey, we should work together, she takes the opportunity to work together. They find out who they truly are, like the creator of the podcast and Frances figure out who each other are in real life, essentially. And you kind of follow their friendship from there. And then something happens where both of their secret identities is revealed. This is all on the back of the book. This is all completely on the back of the book, essentially, and such. So yeah, this is all on the back of the book. But basically, you follow their story, and there's not really like a romance. It's basically just pretty much like a friendship between the 2 of them, and along with their other friends, and basically their found family, essentially, and such. And I wrote down my thoughts in my Goodreads review, because I feel like I do a little bit of a better job at articulating my thoughts on like this rather than I do with the other one. So my review is broken up into 2 parts. One part is just a regular review, and the second part is the spoilers ahead. So I'm not going to read that one, obviously, but I'm just basically going to read from the review itself. So if I could give this book 5 million stars, I would. I loved it so much, and I'm having trouble expressing how much I loved it. How much I love it, but I'll try and explain it. I had a little bit of an idea about where the story was going, and I was excited about what Alice had planned for us. This exceeded my expectations. I said experiences. That's supposed to say expectations. Tenfold. I thoroughly enjoyed the characters, their struggles, and their stories. And the basic plot is following these 2 friends who figure out that one of them is the creator of this podcast, like I said before, that the other loves so much. They team up to work on this podcast together, and something happens that exposes both of their secret identities, and they try and work through those struggles. But there is no romance between the 2 main characters, Frances and Elaide, I think is how you pronounce his name, but I'm not too sure. But you get other romances on the site, and it is so cute. Another underlying issue is the impact of school stress on teenagers. Alice did such an outstanding job of describing what academic burnout can do to teenagers who are taught that school is the only way to succeed in the adult world. And I'd recommend this book to people if you have already read the Heartstopper series. You will see a couple of character cameos from that series. Is so good. 5 million stars. And I kind of want to dive into a little bit about the academic burnout that is talked a lot about in this book. So Frances, she is obviously a workaholic. She is always excelling at school. She's head girl because this is based in the UK and such. But she's head girl. She has always wanted to go to Cambridge, and she's always thought that academics were the way to succeed in the adult world, essentially. And we kind of see her figure out that kind of like academics is not the whole entire thing, but in reality, when a passion of hers gets taken away, essentially, because of the underlying issue of Frances and Elaide's secret identities being revealed, essentially, like somewhere throughout the book, essentially, she almost kind of loses that other passion that made her happy, and she just dives herself into school schoolwork, and she basically experiences academic burnout, and she basically almost works herself to death because that's what she's always been taught, especially by teachers. She will always go on to do something more, like get better education, essentially. And then throughout the book, we kind of just learn that, like, that's not always the correct way for some people to succeed in the adult world. Like, some people that I know didn't go to college and they are loving their life right now because they know that they wouldn't like college, honestly. I'm currently in college myself, and I personally love it. I think it's a really good journey for me personally, honestly. But for some people, college and university is not always the way to go, honestly. It's not always the way to go. And Alice did a really, really good job at explaining that some people are meant for university, some people are not, and some people and you get to the same place, honestly. You get to the same place that other people are at as well, too, just in your different timelines and your different journeys, essentially. And that's what I really, really loved. Also, I binged this book in like 3 days, essentially. I read it on not Friday. Read the first part on Wednesday, read a little bit on Thursday, and then finished it yesterday, which was Friday, essentially. So it's a really, really easy book to binge, honestly. I'm going to show you the book again, but basically, again, looks like this. It is really, really kind of, I mean, it looks thick, but it flies by. I think that's just because of young adult flies by for me personally, because there's not as much complicated language. There is kind of, we move from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, but in a very smooth way. That's what I've always seen with young adult novels, honestly. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed Radio Silence. If I could give it 5 million stars, I would, but it is a 5-star, which is my second 5-star of the year, which I'm so excited for, honestly. Hello again, friends. You are probably wondering why, one, I'm here with big boy microphone and such, but I am making an exec decision to stop the vlog right here because I can tell it is going to be very, very long, and I don't know if you guys want to be put through all of that, essentially, and such. So I'm making an executive decision to stop here. I haven't started reading Imogen, obviously, yet, to be honest with you, because one, I kind of low-key forgot to start it yesterday, and it is currently Sunday, which is the start of the next week, essentially, and I said that I would only be reading LGBTQ books during a week, and I did not get to Imogen, obviously, during this week, but it is a-okay because I've decided that I'm actually going to read this in a separate reading vlog for a book club book because it is one of my book club books, essentially, and such. So basically, I have just made the executive decision to stop the vlog here and just do the outro here. And I brought out big boy microphone because, I wanted to use big boy microphone. I'm not really holding anything, well, besides this guy, of course. But basically doing that, essentially. I love holding big microphone because I can walk off camera and be perfectly fine, honestly. But yes, I wanted to end off the video here and basically say thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if you have read either Meeting Millie or Radio Silence, and just talk about it. Talk about it in the comments, honestly. Let me know if you guys want to see like any of these types of reading vlogs in the future as well too. This was really, really, really fun to do. This is like my first official, no, not my first official, but it's like one of like my second reading vlogs essentially. And I'm just super excited to just kind of dive into the rabbit hole of the multiple possibilities and such that I can do with this essentially and such. So I'm just super excited, honestly. But again, thank you guys again so much for watching. Make sure you like the video if you really like this. Again, comment down below if you have read either Meeting Millie or I almost said Imogen, obviously, or Radio Silence. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, do that little bell thing, make sure you put on post notifications. If you like, I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day, week, month, and year. See you later, friends.